He puts all his force. Very slowly it comes back to him. Push.
Whoa, the chi is growing fast. All right. Tai Chi Master in under a minute. Amazing.
It's the transformation of the inner power.
And push. And I'll push as hard as I can. Okay, oh man, Joe has magic chi powers.
So I just touch. Yeah, okay, strong.
It's just too many people out there that are buying into this foolish shit.
This is stunning. Just using one finger on top of each fist to generate this force.
And again, focus on my one fingers. Again, get very strong. Very strong. Oh. Ooh, check that out. I pushed him across the room with my two fingers.
Yeah,
No, that is a perfect example of forcing and misdirection. It's Ramsey Dewey over here at the Animal Gym in Shanghai, China. We got Herwin, and welcome to Fake Tai Chi Part 2. We debunked this before, but we're going to debunk it harder because the Tai Chi nerds had some words to say, and they're still wrong. So we're going to replicate this stunt exactly as they did it in the video. So Herwin, get your hands up, right? Get very strong, right? Don't let me, yeah, exactly. Now, open hands, because it was open in the video. Turn to the inside. We've got to be exact, right? Very strong. All right, now, push me. Notice, because of my magic chi power, he cannot push me. Oh, see how far my chi was able to move him. Okay, let's do that again and break it down. So come very close now and take a look at the hands. Herwin, get your hands up here. Very strong. So when I tell him be very strong, what he's doing is pushing his hands inward, almost like he's trying to clap. But he can't because I've got the inside position, which is stronger. It is. So if he's squeezing his hands together even as hard as he can, and Herwin's a big guy, I'm a big guy myself. I'm 6'1", 185 centimeters tall, 95 kilos. What is that, like 207 pounds, something like that? Anyway, so I'm not tiny, but Herwin's bigger, right? So he's squeezing. And when I say push, now push me, he can't push me in this position. It's ergonomically impossible. It's impossible. All he's able to do is apply inward pressure this way and not forward pressure. But when he gives me that pressure, he essentially starts squeezing as he attempts to push. This gives me a nice handle. So with minimal effort, I'm able to shove him across the room like it's magic.
Push all your force. He puts all his force. Very slowly it comes back to him. Push. I can receive his force on a straight line. I don't need to adapt and change around his force just because he has more force than me.
All right, one more time we're going to do this stunt. Get in your strongest stance, right? Very strong, push, very hard. Oh! I'm a Tai Chi Master. Anyway, it's a trick. It is a trick. It requires him to do some very specific things. Now, in the last video, my assistant, he's a professional fighter, right? And he didn't want to play along. So what did he do? So you do the trick on me, right? So now I've got the outside. So instead of this, he was like, no, I don't want to play this game. I want to get the inside, right? As soon as I change the rules of the situation, it doesn't work anymore. So this only works here. You do it to me. So again, you get the inside. I'll get very strong. I'll squeeze and now push. Whoa, Herwin became a Tai Chi Master in like 1 minute. That's amazing. That is amazing. Sam, do you want to be in a Tai Chi video? Do you want to become a Tai Chi Master? Come on over here. All right, now Sam's smaller than Herwin, but I bet I can teach him to be a Tai Chi Master in like 1 minute. All right, so get your hands up here. Extend from the body just a little, open hands. Now my hands are coming from the outside, so I'm giving you inward pressure. Now you give me some outward pressure, right? A little bit farther away from the body. Just a little bit, right? So from this position, the wrists are connected, right? Now, if I try to push you from here, right? Just get essentially just stiff arm, right? Yeah, there we go. I can't do it from here as long as the wrists are connected. So maintain pressure against my wrists so they don't slide or anything like that, okay? Very good. Now, push me. Okay, now, without taking a step forward, just give a little hip thrust while maintaining that position, okay? Okay, pretty good for a first-time Tai Chi master. Try it again. Again. Okay, now he's getting some power. Now, let's back up a couple steps. Your chi is growing, young grasshopper.
Sir.
Okay, ready? Okay, one more time. Again, maintain that tight connection on the wrist there. So I'm squeezing in, you're squeezing out, I'm pushing. Okay, whoa, the chi is growing fast. All right. Tai Chi Master in under a minute. Amazing. Let's debunk the next trick again.
Yeah, were you acting? I thought it was like some Hollywood thing going on.
No, it's not an act. It's a trick. It's a magic trick. And by magic trick, I don't mean it's like some supernatural force. I mean it's like a sleight of hand. It's a setup. It is a misdirection. It's what magicians call forcing. So, Sam, if I tell you to bring your hands up here and put them in a very specific position, extend them a little bit from the body, hands open, right? And I have the inside grip and you keep pressure against my hands. Get very strong. That's the cue right there. Very strong is the right cue to force you into a bad position, right? So very strong, very strong. Okay, and now you loosen up the elbows a little bit, so we didn't go as far as we could have, but stay very strong, even stronger, even stronger.
Right.
Okay, now we have even more pushing force because he's staying stronger. You'll notice when Adam Mizner does these stunts, he's always telling the guys, get very strong.
So I just touch. Yeah. Okay. Strong.
Very strong. Here, make two fists. Okay? And again, focus on my one fingers. Again, get very strong. Very strong. Oh.
Dang.
Ooh, check that out. I pushed him across the room with my two fingers.
Yeah,
No, that is a perfect example of forcing and misdirection. So with the two fingers, I'm saying I will push you with the two fingers. He's focusing on the two fingers. He's not focusing on anything else. This is the sleight of hand. It's like a coin trick. I tell you, watch this hand, when really it's this hand that's doing the work. And I tell him, get very strong, meaning I need him to be tense. If he's not tense here, relax now, relax. Get very loose. Keep your hands up, but stay very relaxed, right? And I try this trick and it doesn't work anymore. Try again, very relaxed, very loose. Kind of like a fighting stance, like you would in a fight. And it doesn't have the same effect. Now, again, very strong, very strong. Now the magic came back, okay? These are body mechanic tricks. It's the magician's trick of forcing. I'm forcing him to believe he's in a strong position when I've actually put him in a weak position. Now, let's go to the third trick. If we look at the demo between the large man, the small woman, and the medium-sized guy in the middle, the woman is pushing on the leverage point of the body, while the large man only serves as a fulcrum and a counterweight to her lever. So we did this trick last time, but the guy holding the camera cut off the legs. That's kind of important. We have to see what's happening with the legs.
This has been an experience that I can't explain, and I don't fully understand.
That's okay, Brian Shaw. I do understand it. Let me explain it to you. So the big guy, Brian Shaw, was standing with a parallel stance, pushing with his left hand exactly like this. The medium-sized guy in the middle, had one knee bent slightly toward Brian Shaw and a straight leg toward the small Tai Chi lady on the side. Small Tai Chi lady is pushing with her power hand in an athletic position, feet apart so she can use hip drive against the tricep, the leverage point on the body. Brian Shaw is pushing on the shoulder, acting as a frame and nothing more. So let's replicate the trick. Ready? And push. Okay, let's do that again. and push. And I'm pushing as hard as I can. Push. The problem is I'm just in an inferior position. Now let's switch it. So lean your leg toward Joe. So bend the leg. Now get your body centered though. Get your body centered. We have to set this up exactly right. Joe, you get in a parallel stance, feet facing forward, right? So you face the camera, and I'll get in the athletic position where I can use hip drive, and I will push on the leverage point. Ready? And push. And now I have the magic chi powers. Woo! So easy. All we have to do is set it up. Ready? One more time. And push. Ooh, one last time. Ready? And push. It's like my energy just flows through him into... No, it's biomechanics exploited. It's the magician's trick of forcing once again at play. Instant Chi Master. All we have to do is force the trick to work by stacking the deck of body mechanics in our favor. In other words, it's fake. The one finger trick thing, what were you saying about
so
it?
to be honest, when Ramsey told me to focus just on my fist, I felt like the balance of my legs kind of, because I wasn't focusing on my balance at all, right? So I felt weak on my very foundation. So when Ramsey pushed me, I felt, off balance very easily.
Yeah, crazy how that works.
But when I'm not focusing and I'm just doing in my normal stance, it's very hard to push me around, right? As demonstrated earlier.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah, I want to know, is it just me though when Ramsey's telling me to focus here and I feel like I'm like my foot's very light. I feel like I don't have my foundation with me. Is it just me?
No, it's not just you. That's basic body mechanics. This is a great question. It's not just you. This happens to almost every first-time fighter. They get very tense in the upper body. They squeeze their fists. They forget to breathe. They get very tired and they underperform. And it's just bad, right? When you first start fighting or your first sparring session is just trash, right? Because we squeeze, we put all our blood and our focus and our energy up here and we forget about the legs and our legs get all wobbly, right? So when I said, get very strong, focus on the fingers, right? Think about this. Right now, what are you thinking about, Sam?
My forehead.
Yeah, you're thinking about this annoying little tap on the forehead, and you're not thinking about your toes or your knees. So right, what do you think about right now?
Forehead, tap.
Yeah, you're not thinking about me leg dragging you with my foot or anything like that. So we become very susceptible. This is how fakes and feints work in fighting, for example. Something as simple as, look at that, boom, just kidding, right? I mean, obviously, people generally don't do this as a feint in a fight, but it could work. There are all kinds of little things like fake low and boom, come up high. That's how the Brazilian kick works, for example. Right? Yeah, or, kick the leg, boom, kick the leg, boom, look at the leg, kick the head, boom, right? It's misdirection. Essentially, we're also using magic tricks as professional fighters too, right? So this idea of focus here, get very strong. When I say get strong, what do?
Tense up.
Tense up. Exactly. Is it good to be tensed up in a fight?
No.
No, it's trash. It's trash. You got to relax. What does every good coach tell you to do? Relax, relax, while doing the least relaxing thing ever, but you have to. That's why we got to get loose, exactly. And now, as soon as I try my little tricks and they don't work anymore. Where's all my Tai Chi power? That's not what Tai Chi is. Taijiquan is an amazing martial art, but it's a grappling system predominantly. There are strikes, there are joint locks, but it's predominantly grappling, right? It's simple things like, arm drag the guy, leg drag him and put him on the floor. It's things like he's punching at me and I'm slipping, grabbing his leg, and then taking it out from under him. These are Taiji techniques. Taiji is also a sword fighting system. Taiji Jin, where we hold the sword and we move and we fence and we do all these movements. Taiji is also a system of breathing and exercises. So there are movements where you breathe, movements where you're essentially doing like slow motion calisthenics to build up the strength of your fascia. I mean, that's great stuff. I love Taiji, but when people try to pretend that it's magic power, like I will use my mind to... Why aren't you moving? I'm using my chi on you. Can't you feel the heat coming from my hands? Hadouken! Right. That's trash. I hate that so much. I hate it because I've seen the real thing. Right? I've seen the real thing. I trained with a legitimate master of Taijiquan. You know what he did? First thing he did to me, we're fighting. He gets me in a wrist lock. He puts me on the floor, right? Gets me overhead here, does one of those, right? And I was like, the heck? That was like Aikido or Jiu-Jitsu or something. The next thing he does, he's like, fight me, right? And he's slipping punches. I'm throwing punches at his head. He grabs my leg, throws me on the floor, just starts laughing at me. We're moving around, right? I make some contact. He gets like inside grips and, you know, there's all this pushing. I'm obviously not him. And he does one of these. That's a great move. That's a great move. And essentially this is real time tricking the guy into tensing up, getting that inside grip so we can push the body and make some space. That's an excellent movement, right? But as soon as we start saying, it's because of my internal power and my special abilities that I've developed my chi over time. Screw that, man. The reason that I recognize the fake so quickly is because I've seen the real thing. And that, my friends, ain't it. Rant over. Sam still doesn't understand the power of chi yet, because he says he's in the same stance. So let's get in the same stance. Can you see the feet? Right. So he was in a fighting stance, and if you're just relaxed and normal, I'm going to push you, right? And I push him like he's stable, right? If I push him around, he's stable. So what happened right there? When I told him to focus up here, when all of his focus was on the fingers, so focus on the fingers, focus up here, right? Get very strong, as strong as you can, right? Strong, right? I'm hypnotizing him. This is hypnosis, okay? So what's happening is, even though his legs are technically in the same position, he is not prepared to move them. The legs are not engaged. They're asleep. Hypnosis is like sleeping. So this is, I wouldn't say awake. This is in a state of suggestion. The suggestion is tension. When I say strong. And I'm not pushing with my fingers. I'm actually pushing with my knuckles right here. You can see Adam does that in the video. He pushes to get a push back, and then he pulls to get a pull back, pushes into the guts, and then pushes him over like that. And it's like, oh, energy is emanating from my fingertips. No, it's not. It's the power of hypnosis. Look, my dad was an amateur hypnotist. I've seen this stuff since I was a small child, man. I recognize the signs. And the power of suggestion is real, but it's not chi, man. Okay, let's get some native Chinese speakers here. So in the Chinese language, there are like 300 characters to make the sound chi, or chi, or, you know, and it sounds like that, right? And the character that people use to represent, you know, the mystical chi energy that people always associate with martial arts or qigong or whatever. What is that? What does that actually mean?
Gas, breath, that kind of thing, you know?
Gas, breath, air?
Yeah.
Ah, how about that? You know, I told that to a dude on the internet who was telling me, Ramsey, you don't understand chi. And I was like, do you speak Chinese? And he was like, no, but you don't understand chi. Because in the original character, not the simplified communist character as you guys use in the mainland,
Wait,
it has some extra radicals at the bottom. Yeah, okay, but that...
Recently, I was looking up Japanese for
Yeah.
chi, which is in the traditional form with the X at the bottom, I think. Sometimes they use rice. I think it's X. It's pronounced ki, so it sounds even more mystical.
Yeah, key, like a key you turn the door with. Anyway, but yeah, it's got a little radical phrase. So now we're having a discussion about historical etymology, linguistics, which is a completely different thing than martial arts. So we've entered into the realm of sophistry here. Anyway, thank you, Chinese language expert Feng. Okay, Sam had another question because he still doesn't understand how this whole thing works. And this is amazing. This is how the frauds get away with it, because it's hard to explain subtle body mechanics. So Sam was wondering if, when I told him to focus on the hands, he stopped bouncing, he's not loose anymore, he's very tight, but he's saying if I move my legs, if I start bouncing again, even if I'm listening to you, all right, get strong, right? Well, he'll still move, but you're in an athletic position, and so you're not stumbling or anything like that. Okay, I've never done this before. I didn't know the answer. So again, bounce around, right? But focus on this. Get strong. Okay, I can still move him, but again, it's not putting him at a huge disadvantage in any way, I wouldn't say. What do you think, Sam?
I do think it's harder to bounce naturally though. If I'm focusing here, it gets a bit harder. Maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward and robotic if you're squeezing your fists and bouncing.
If I'm really focusing here,
you look like a caricature of a boxer almost. So now relax completely, but just normal fighting stance, bounce, and I'll try. And the same amount of power, the same amount of quote unquote internal energy does literally nothing to him now, right? Because right here, his arm, if his arm has a little slack to it, it won't move his body. Now get really strong, really tense right here. Now that there's no slack in the arm, it will move his body. This is like a principle of swing dancing. Yeah, swing dancing. So there's a move where, here, get your hand up here. We're gonna dance. Yeah, so hold the hand right there. We're holding hands. Okay, but you gotta have tension in the arm, right? So I'm gonna move back like West Coast swing. Keep your hand up here. When I come in, I'm gonna push, right? And then I'm gonna move away. I'm gonna come back in, but this only works if you keep the tension right there, right? And if I want to change the grip, I'll hold down here and I'll swing you over there, and then we'll move around, and yeah, we'll dance, okay? So it's a similar idea. This only works, this push-pull connection in the dance only works if he keeps tension there. Now, if he gets loose and relaxed in this, and I try to do the push, it doesn't work anymore. It's like, what's happening? We're not dancing anymore. It's just this weird hand grab thing. So I'm gonna get really stiff right here. Now push my arm, okay? Again, push, all right. Okay, now he can push me around. Now I get loose, but I keep my hand in the same position. And now we're just high-fiving each other in a weird, awkward way, right? Does that explain
I think so, yeah.
the science behind it?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Perfect. We have finally answered Sam's question. Video over.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching. Now get out there and train for real. Do you like the rash guards and shorts that I wear in my YouTube videos? Well, get your own at xmartial.com, and don't forget to use my code Ramsey10 for 10% off your entire purchase. Over the years, I've been offered a lot of sponsorship opportunities on YouTube, and I've turned most of them down, except for xmartial.com for a very specific reason. It is a brand that I use. It's a brand that I trust. They make quality gear. I don't want to sell you crap that takes your attention away from getting out there and training. X Martial is a brand that supports athletes and has from the very beginning. So if you're going to get training gear anyway, it might as well be the good stuff.